Tell me what was going on that even got you to Heartlight.
I was struggling with anorexia, so I would go days at a time without eating.
Wow.
And I would just smoke, I would do coke, would do acid, and those things kind of just led to me not wanting to eat, suicidal thoughts, cutting, problems with boys, sex.
Wow. Sophia, thanks for coming in and sitting down.
Yeah.
You have a wonderful smile. I love it. I just absolutely love it. I mean, and I mean, you got sparkles around your eyes, and I mean, you look fresh. You didn't look like this when you first got to Heartlight.
No, I did not.
Wow. Tell me what was going on that even got you to Heartlight.
So before I came here, I was struggling with anorexia, so I would go days at a time without eating.
Wow.
And kind of what caused that was drugs.
Wow.
And I would just smoke, I would do coke, would do acid, and those things kind of just led to me not wanting to eat. And I also struggled with like suicidal thoughts, cutting, problems with boys, sex.
Wow. Okay. That's a lot. Let's back up just a little bit. When did all that start? When did the drug thing start?
The drug thing started in about 8th grade. My first time smoking was in a school bathroom with my best friend, and she convinced me it was a good idea, and I was like, oh yeah, that's a great idea.
So you're smoking pot in the bathroom?
Yes, of my Christian private school.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Now that's not a knock on Christian schools. That's just
that's
where you were.
I chose it. Yeah.
So was it to solve something else that was going on in your life?
It didn't start that way.
Yeah.
But slowly it became that way because I realized, like, with an acid trip, I could just take away all my problems and, like, explore a new life, I guess, for the next 12 hours and not have to deal with my mom nagging me or deal with the pain of, like, boys hurting me and things like that.
Wow. As you were doing all this stuff, did your mom nag more?
Well, I got really good at hiding it and lying and manipulating, so she didn't really know all of it at first, but slowly she started to catch on to what I was doing, and it kind of just became a lot more as she found out, and she would ask me to not go out, and I would still go out anyways and disobey and just, like, leave the house for days at a time.
And go where?
Wherever. I would go to a friend's house. One night, I slept outside because I had literally nowhere else to go and my phone was dead.
I don't know why it's a surprise. I'm just kind of going, how does somebody in 8th grade start to do that? Did you start to realize that, okay, what I'm doing isn't good? That this is just not good?
I kind of just convinced myself it was okay. Like, in the back of my mind, I always knew it wasn't okay, but I just started to say, oh, everybody else is doing it. Like, my best friend looks the exact same way I do. Like, our lives are the same. So I just kind of told myself it was okay.
Did you look in the mirror and go, okay, I'm changing?
Definitely. There was a specific moment. I was looking through pictures with my mom, and I used to be, like, quite a bit heavier. Probably, like, 50 pounds heavier.
Wow.
And then I had, like, looked at these pictures and I was like, I'm not the same person as I used to be, and it's not because I'm just growing and my body's changing, it's because I'm starving myself for days.
Yeah. So what, did you have an aha moment that you just went, I can't do this?
March 17th was my aha day.
Okay, and why is that? Because that's when you came to Heartlight?
Yes.
Okay, so before that, was it fighting, and then your parents finally said, okay, we're done, we got to do something different?
Yep. So
you come here. And then what happens?
I kind of just pretended like I was fine and like I was perfect for like my first, I guess, month and a half here. And I was like, I don't need to be here. I don't have any problems. And then slowly as I got deeper into level 3, I kind of started to recognize there is problems here. And the problems weren't with my family. Most of the problems started with me. Yeah. And
so if you had to identify those, it'd be what?
Basically, I just started to realize that I was the reason why my parents and I were fighting, and I started to realize that I was trying to make what I was doing okay. Like, I was convincing myself it was okay to do drugs, and I was convincing myself that it's okay to go party and stay out all night.
Yeah, so do you think, I mean, part of it was you get to Heartlight, and do you think that your head was just clearing up a little bit, and you
think
started to
so.
think differently?
A different atmosphere always gives a new perspective, and I think it was really good for me to get out of the life that I was living to like take a step back and really just evaluate everything that was going on at home and
Yeah.
all the decisions that I was making.
Okay, so you come here, and so after a month and a half, you realize that. So are you ready to go back home after a month and a half?
Absolutely not.
Why? Why? Tell me why. Because, I mean, most people would say, well, I quit doing drugs, and now I'm eating.
Yeah. I would say that the problems, those weren't just the problems. Like, I have deeper rooted problems. And probably those deeper rooted problems would be like my self-worth and like my problems with letting guys take advantage of me or just like have me all at once. And
Well, are those coupled together? Yeah, since I'm not worth anything, I just might as well just
Yeah.
do whatever.
it's just like little things like that.
Little things?
Okay,
Little
they're big
God, they're kind of
things.
big things. I mean, those are huge things.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just let a guy do whatever he wants. At the end of that, did you just go, okay, this... I mean, did you feel like you were getting beat up emotionally?
I definitely was. There was a lot of nights where I would spend by myself just crying, like thinking that I had no value and no worth because, for one, people told me that I had no worth because I was doing those things, but also I just kind of felt like a piece of garbage, honestly.
So that drive you to do more drugs and get away from it and forget it,
Yep.
which compounded the not eating, which now you're looking at yourself. I mean, you're a full-blown almost addict in one sense, whether or dependent,
Yeah.
on that, and it's just kind of spinning out, right?
Pretty much.
So what have you learned?
I think what I've learned the most is there's a very big difference between what I want and what I need. And that boundaries are the most important thing because I used to make decisions based off of what I wanted.
Yeah.
And I looked back at all of my decisions and I realized every time I picked what I wanted, I just ended up in a really bad, terrible place.
Wow.
And I've really started to like dissect my decisions and make sure it's what I need to do for myself.
Wow.
And it's not been easy whatsoever.
Wow.
It's been really difficult.
Wow. But been good to be away from your parents
Absolutely.
so you can focus on your stuff. Because when you were with your parents, you were focusing on them like they're the problem.
All the time.
Yeah. So you get away, and now it's your deal that you have to deal with.
Yes.
Yeah.
The finger pointing has stopped. It has stopped.
You love your parents?
I do.
You know they love you? Cool.
Every phone
Cool.
call, I just get so excited. I just cannot wait to talk to my mom every single time.
Wow.
And I used to hate talking to her.
God, I am so proud of you. I am so proud of you. And I wish for everybody that's watching us, I go, this is a young lady that didn't look like this 6 months ago. And so
Absolutely
she's
not.
healthy and getting to a really good spot. Thanks for coming in and sharing your story. This is always wonderful to hear these stories of hope and stuff.
Thank you for having me.
You bet.